Ever found yourself in a situation where you question, why me? Life, with its complex tapestry, often weaves challenges that can cause us to question our faith and purpose. It's easy to feel lost, to feel alone. But in these moments, it becomes even more vital not to turn our backs on God, for it is in the exploration of our faith that we find strength. Remember, in the midst of our struggles, we can find comfort and guidance in the Scriptures. Consider the words from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. In the throes of life's many challenges, this verse from Jeremiah is a beacon of hope. It's a gentle reminder that every single one of us is part of a grand design, a divine scheme where every piece fits perfectly, every event has a purpose. Even when we're walking through the shadowy valleys of hardship, we're not wandering aimlessly. There's a plan. Now, the plan might be invisible to us in the moment, shrouded in the mist of uncertainty and fear, but it's there. It's always there. And what's more, it's a plan tailored specifically for you, intricately woven with threads of hope and future. It's a plan to prosper you, not to harm you. So when the trials of life bear down upon you, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, remember Jeremiah 29:11. Remember that you are not alone. Remember that every challenge, every hardship, every tear is a part of the plan. A plan that promises a future filled with hope. In the middle of your trials, remember that God's plan is always for your good and not your destruction. Scene script. Let's delve into Psalms 23:3-4. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This scripture beautifully encapsulates the essence of divine guidance and restoration. It tells us that God, the restorer of our souls, guides us along the paths of righteousness. He does this not for our merit, but for his name's sake, underscoring his ultimate sovereignty and his unconditional love for us. The path of righteousness is not always smooth or easy. Sometimes it plunges into the valley of the shadow of death, a metaphorical representation of life's deepest struggles, darkest fears, and toughest challenges. But even in these challenging times, we need not fear any evil. Why? Because God is with us. His presence is a constant, unwavering source of comfort and protection. The reference to God's rod and staff in this verse further reinforces his role as our shepherd. These shepherd's tools symbolize his authority and his care for us. They are not instruments of punishment, but of guidance and comfort. Therefore, if you find yourself in a valley, remember you're not alone. God is with you. His guidance will lead you, his restoration will renew you, and his comfort will sustain you. No matter the depth of the valley you're walking through, God is there with you, guiding and comforting you. Our final scripture is Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This verse is a beacon of hope, a guiding light in the midst of a storm, a comforting whisper in the silence of despair. It reminds us that God's presence is not distant, but close, especially close to those who are hurting. The imagery of a heart in pieces, a spirit feeling crushed, these are not unfamiliar to any of us. We've all felt the sting of disappointment, the weight of sorrow, the chill of loneliness. But in these moments, these low points, this verse assures us that God's presence is strongest. He is there, saving those who feel defeated, lifting up those who are weighed down. He is there, mending the brokenhearted, restoring the crushed in spirit. His love, his grace, his mercy, they are all-encompassing, all-powerful, all-healing. When your heart is broken and your spirit feels crushed, remember that God is closest to you. In conclusion, remember the wisdom of Jeremiah, the solace in Psalms. Through Jeremiah 29:11, we're reminded of God's plans for us, plans of prosperity, not harm. Psalms 23:3-4 teaches us about his guidance even in the darkest valleys, and Psalms 34:18. It assures us of his proximity in times of heartbreak. The challenges you face are not punishments but pathways, leading you closer to divine comfort and salvation. In the midst of your trials, remember, God has a plan for you, he guides you, and he is closest to you when you're hurting the most. Never turn your back on him. Thank you for watching, and please remember to subscribe.